Hey guys, this is Anime Ball Z here, and today we are going to be doing the 5th part of What If Goku Was Half Kryptonian. Please like the video if you haven't already and subscribe, it's totally free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. There's nothing much else I'd like to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
Cell doesn't look bothered about his new state and tries to punch him again, but Goku drops him to his knees with a single strike to his abdomen. Cell warily looks up to face Goku, who already has a palm right to his face. No, Cell, today is your doomsday. Be gone, Goku says, before releasing a large energy wave that vaporizes Cell while also completely destroying the surrounding area. The Z Fighters are forced to evacuate since the attack is so powerful, and with that, Cell has been totally defeated. In this story, the androids are instead wished back by Krillin, and then their kryptonite is simply removed and their bombs are removed by Bulma also. They pretty much have to comply because even if they can take on the likes of Goku and Gohan with their kryptonite, they'd be stopped by the likes of Vegeta. Future Trunks then makes it back to his own timeline and destroys the androids as well as Imperfect Cell once he makes his appearance. For this 7-year time skip, Goku is still alive and is continuing to grow stronger under the power of the Yellow Sun. For an entire year of this time, he enters a star and swiftly absorbs its solar energy, growing much stronger. He gains access to Super Saiyan 3 only after 2 years, and in the following years he begins training such form but finds his Super Kryptonian Saiyan form a lot more useful. Gohan, just like before, distances himself from the whole fighting life, but as he is under a Yellow Sun, he doesn't actually grow weaker. Also, his Kryptonian desire to protect those around him still urges him to continue training even a little bit. Inevitably, this is what he does and he grows even stronger. Goku's Super Kryptonian Saiyan form has a multiplier of 500 times. This means that this is actually the strongest form that he has, and its stamina drain is below that of Super Saiyan 3, so he utilizes this form much more often. Vegeta has become quite secluded and is still bitter about the growing gap between him and his rival Kakarot. However, it begins to dawn in on Vegeta more quickly that the gap will only continue to increase no matter how hard he tries. He is an elite Saiyan, but Goku is a hybrid and possesses powers from some other supposed warrior race that is making him even stronger. Goten is still born too, and Goten is also a quarter Kryptonian, quarter Saiyan and half human. Goten still possesses enormous potential, but the thing about Goku's children is that they are merely a quarter Kryptonian. Their Saiyan side boosts their power as they are tribrids, but the quantity of Kryptonian blood within them is just too low. Just like Gohan, Goten is incapable of using freeze breath and X-ray vision. The events before the World Tournament saga go rather similar, but Goku has already met his son Goten since he never died in the Cell Game saga. As an adult, Gohan faces Kibito at the World Tournament saga and enters his Super Kryptonian Saiyan form for the first time ever. It surprises him himself and he feels incredibly powerful, but this only means that Spopovich and Yamu can take even more energy from him. This is what they do, but unlike before, Gohan's healing factor means that he returns to full strength rather quickly. Goku sees the two fighters leaving and doesn't look the slightest bit scared. He is almost certain that he is far superior to the two fighters, but he isn't arrogant to totally underestimate them. While Gohan is shaking off his healing body, Goku races after them and can easily keep up with them in his base form alone. After housing himself in the center of a star for so long, he has become significantly more powerful. The other fighters, including Shin, are surprised about how fast he can fly and how he can do so effortlessly. Partly, this is since he is a Kryptonian and flying is basically in his DNA. Showing up at the scene Dabra shows himself, unlike before, Goku easily kicks Dabra away before he can even cause any harm. Dabra uses all of his energy to fly back into the ship, but Goku hits him with his heat vision just before he can escape. Entering the ship, Vegeta takes out Pui Pui just like before, then Goku takes on Yamu, disappointed with how weak the being is. Next, Gohan is up to face Dabra, who is still injured from the heat vision blast that Goku had just used on him. However, he is strong enough to fight still, and Goku was not using his full power against him anyway. The two fighters stare each other down and Gohan faces him. Gohan enters his Super Saiyan form to test the waters. He punches Dabra into a mountain, then the Demon King tries to use his special spit against him. However, Gohan teleports so that he arrives just in front of it, and then he releases his beams of heat vision. Dabra gets hit initially and tries to escape, but Gohan tracks him along his way. This ends up damaging his arm a significant amount, but he doesn't look like he's backing down anytime soon. After receiving that attack, he grits his teeth while heavily breathing from the agony, but then he uses his other hand to release a full power energy wave. Gohan takes the attack head on and he pushes against it, then enters his Super Kryptonian Saiyan form to push the beam right back. Dabra is forced to fly up as fast as he possibly can, and the area below him is totally destroyed. Gohan simply stands still and awaits an attack from his adversary, but he looks weakened and barely able to continue. Summoning enough ferocity and determination, he flies forward with a scream to try and attack Gohan once again. However, once he extends his arm, Gohan is already behind him with his hand right through his chest. Dabra coughs blood and Gohan retreats and blasts him away with a Masenko beam. However, now Babidi has already summoned enough energy to break open the sealed ball from the fights that have occurred. Majin Buu is then released from the ball, but once the ball opens, Goku launches his Kamehameha wave while Vegeta and Gohan do too. Vegeta launches his final flash and Gohan launches his Hyper Masenko. This releases a large explosion, and once the light dies down, a pink gas can be seen in the sky. It eventually condenses into Majin Buu. He childishly steps from foot to foot, then flies toward the Saiyans. Goku is the main fighters to step up and punches Buu's head into bits. He is still in his base form, then he enters Super Saiyan to kick Buu more than 100 meters away. Once this happens, Buu's body reforms again and returns to its ordinary state. Goku takes note of his odd regenerative abilities and so takes the time to power up into his most powerful form. As he powers up, the people watch on in astonishment from how powerful he is. He destroys the area around him and rocks fly out and break apart from the energy that he's releasing. Buu flies right for him, but as this happens he takes aim and launches his signature Kamehameha wave. Buu gets hit right on and almost completely vaporized in the center of the beam. He is reduced to a state that he can't heal from at all, and the threat of Buu has been dismantled. Following this event, Babidi is taken out and the Kais thank the Saiyans for all of their help. Now what comes is the large time skip between Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. A few years pass, and during this time Goku is getting even stronger. As he is training in places in space and releasing his full power, he catches the attention of Whis. As he trains also, he concentrates on the solar radiation that is being aimed at him so he can absorb it. Even though he doesn't spend extended periods of time in the sun, he still grows significantly stronger, and it makes Beerus even more excited about possibly facing this being. Goku is training on King Kai's planet just like before, then Beerus shows up to meet him. Goku is training in Super Saiyan 3, training his stamina while using the form, then Beerus shows up out of nowhere. He ends up talking to Goku and asks him if he is the Super Saiyan God. Goku has no clue what he's talking about of course, but he says that he's just strong. Beerus seems quite bummed out, but he wants to test out his strength and decides to test him in battle. Goku immediately powers up into his Super Kryptonian Saiyan form and charges at the God of Destruction with immense speed. He becomes a complete blur to King Kai as he is watching, then he tries to punch Beerus, but once his fist is extended, Beerus is already beside him. He lands a quick tap to his neck and nearly knocks him out in one go, but his healing factor and insane durability means that he is pretty much fine in seconds. He then tries to hit Beerus with his heat vision, but he predicts and evades the beam of heat with a simple sidestep. Goku then tries to assail him with his freeze breath, but he can't exactly hit him right away. Beerus ends up standing in the wave of ice, but it does nothing to his body. To him it's just a cool breeze and he just smiles under the wave of cold, feeling refreshed by it. After the cold air spreads and then his smell fades. You must be a hybrid. I didn't remember the Saiyans possessing powers like these, and I don't recall any race with such an ability. Whis, what's happening here? Beerus asks, concerned. Even though he is poor at his job, he is aware of the stronger races in his universe. In his millions of years of reign as the God of Destruction, he hasn't seen someone with quite the abilities that he has showcased. Goku here is a hybrid between a Saiyan and a Kryptonian. The Kryptonians have no abilities under the rays of a red sun, but when under the light of a yellow or blue sun they gain significant amounts of strength. So the events that follow are rather similar, except that Beerus doesn't ever fight Gotenks since Metamorian fusion isn't a known technique by any of the main characters in this What If. They end up summoning Shenron and he tells them of the Super Saiyan God. Goku is the center of the ritual and then he becomes the Super Saiyan God. This time he is leagues above where he was at before in terms of strength. He regally raises to then meet Beerus in flight, who smiles upon watching the sight. How does it feel, the power of a god? Beerus asks. It feels amazing, Goku says, shaking off his body. What Goku does notice is that his senses have become even sharper than they once were. He can see objects that are really far away, and he can hear the subtlest noises from long distances too. The two warriors battle and Goku is still outmatched just like he was before. Goku lands a punch on Beerus' face, then he tries to use his heat vision subsequently. However, as he tries to do so, Beerus swerves out of the way of these two beams to land a kick to his face, then to punch him into the rocky floor below them. The two then enter close quarter combat, and Beerus is surprised about how many hits he can take. He doesn't throw attacks that are very powerful, but he can take punches that are much stronger than what he can dish out. Goku then throws a wild hook that Beerus evades. He then strikes him in the stomach and lands several punches that drop Goku onto his knees. Once he is on his knees, Beerus brutally swing kicks him into the sky that causes a cloud to part. As Goku continues to rise into the air, Beerus kicks him further up so that they break through the atmosphere, but to his surprise again, Goku is completely fine. It looks like you don't have the power to entertain me enough. I am slightly impressed with your power, but not enough to save your planet, Beerus says, before aiming his hand down toward the earth. However, as he is doing this, Goku screams and reaches within for as much power as he can muster. The last thing he wants to see is his planet be destroyed, and he feels like he has just the right power to stop this being. His hair then begins to stand on end, and his hair color switches from red to orange. A massive aura blasts outward, and once the aura decays, Goku is within a totally new form. White crystals float within his aura, and he looks even more divine than he once did. "You won't destroy my planet," Goku roars, before releasing his heat vision. However, as he does this, the explosion that is released once it hits Beerus is massive. Beerus doesn't actually have any bruises, but the explosion that was created was almost like he launched an energy wave. "It looks like your other powers have gotten stronger too," Beerus states. Goku, after hearing this, begins to focus on his powers and then releases a concentrated beam of his freeze breath. The air is so cold that ice crystals are quickly seen in the wave of air, and Beerus blocks it with a single hand. Unlike before, he feels a stinging sensation in his hand as he keeps it open and wide. Once the air stops coming his way, Goku assails him with a punch to the face, then a subsequent Kamehameha wave. He blocks the blast once again, and Goku continues with his relentless fighting style since he has such high amounts of stamina. This new form of his is on par with Super Saiyan Blue, and with more than a 50 times multiplier, he has gained insane levels of power. They go strike for a time and shake the infinitely sized space, just like they did in the canon. Goku flies up to try and attack Beerus, but as he does so, he shoots down a large planet-busting ball of energy. "Try pushing that back," Beerus says with a chuckle, forcing it downward. Goku catches it and immediately feels its weight. He starts descending immediately, but his will to fight is too great. His arms begin shaking under the force of this blast, and he screams to summon every bit of strength that he can. His shirt rips off and shreds off under the heat of the blast, then he pours in his freeze breath to try and reduce the energy of the blast. He uses a wide wave of air and forces it out with high force and ends up managing to decrease its size. As Beerus sees the ice crystals escaping around the edge of it, he smirks with surprise. "What a warrior," he says as he watches his blast vanish into nothing. After this, Goku is totally exhausted and falls out of Super Saiyan God entirely. Instead of passing out and descending back to Earth though, his stamina begins to quickly return to him, and in seconds he looks just fine. So that will conclude the 5th part of What If Goku was half Kryptonian. Please tell me something you liked about this part or something that I should improve on for the next one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.